And now we're moving on to number 6, Openside flanker, none other than Marco van Staden. Welkom.
Thank you very much.
I know it's been a long road, but you're finally back in your full form with injuries and all that. Just how's it going?
No, it's going well. Rehab's been going very well on the ankle. Sorted all other niggles out. So hopefully from here the season can go without any setback.
This is 1 to 15, made just for you by Bright Rock. We've teamed up with the Vodacom Bulls to bring you all the details on what exactly rugby players do. So now to help with that season for all of us that want details on your position, because it's always interesting between the 6 and the 7. Open side, what does that mean?
Mostly from the scrum point of view, you're always in the open side, the bigger side of the scrum. You're always out on lineouts, so you're more open field so that you can get to the first breakdowns and first form of set play.
And when you say the bigger side of the scrum, that's with the most field,
yes,
right?
Most
on
space.
Your side, your most space.
Yes.
What are your roles on the field? Because it feels like, yes, there's specific ones, if you'd like to tell us about those, but also generally what is your role in the team?
Yeah, so 6 always plays towards the ball. On attack, securing the breakdown, making sure we have good clean ball, and on defense, hunting the breakdown again and trying to get turnovers. Connect anywhere on attack, on defense, normally with outside the tight forwards to just get a bit more on the outside where inside the backs, but outside the tight forwards.
When you say hunting, what do you mean with that? Is it just very aggressive going in?
Yeah, aggressive way to go into breakdowns. I think like a 6 flank and a breakdown is best friends. Either disrupt ball, slow it down, or get the ball back.
If you were to explain your position to someone that's never watched the game of rugby, give me one sentence.
Is the guy normally at the bottom of the breakdown or coming out of it last, or first at it then coming out of it last?
There we go. Okay. And then also just in terms of the breakdown, could you give us a bit more context there? Explain the breakdown to us.
Well, you only get like 10, 12 scrums, 10, 12 lineouts a game, but there's over 80 breakdowns. So it's a big part of the game. But that's the other set piece other than a scrum or a lineout where there's a pause in play. It's a contest for the ball, and it's probably the worst nightmare for a 9. The fun place for the forwards.
Oh, there was also some dark arts in that breakdown.
Yeah, where the cameras can't see, I think a lot of things happen. What happens in the rock stays in the rock.
In terms of your skill set, what are you good at that you think makes you good in that position and you like thriving in that position?
For me, like the breakdown, the messier it is, the better.
Okay.
So for me, I like that part of the game, and it's also a physical part of the game, which I like. Any place where you can apply your physicality.
And in general, open side flanker, what are the skill sets, the jobs they need to do before they even go out onto that field? What is it about communication as well with your teammates beforehand, or do you just go for that breakdown no matter what?
No, you have to make clever decisions. Otherwise, you get a reputation for giving away penalties, and that's not what you want. You have to be on the good side of the law. Take chances, but calculated chances. So it's not, and that comes with good communication. Your teammates communicating to you when to leave, when to know. When your head is in the breakdown, you can't always hear the ref.
Do you want to hear the ref?
Yeah, you don't always want to, but you have to look after your body because you go through a bit of wear and tear. I think one of the biggest things is having a strong neck.
If you explain a breakdown where there's the ball, and then I guess the breakdown, where are you and how do you get the ball then?
Attacking player, if there's a tackle, I can either be the first tackler and get back on my feet and try and get from my side of the ball, get to the ball. Or if I'm the tackler, I first have to release, show daylight, give the player a chance to place the ball, then I can go for it. But if my teammate tackles the player, I can go directly from the ball, but always from my side and starting from my side. If I don't get the ball, I can always counter-ruck, but staying on my feet and keep your hands off the floor.
When was the first time you played in this position, and what was it about it?
I was actually scrum off from grade 1 until 11. I was at the breakdown, but not in a forward role. And then in matric, I actually moved to flank.
Quite a jump, though.
Not actually. I think I was always wanting to be a forward. Kept playing scrum off, and then matric. I finally moved, I think, to the position I always wished I could play.
So does that mean you have empathy and sympathy with the scrummies and have more, like, you understand them a bit better, knowing that you played there for quite a chunk of your high school career?
Yeah, I don't think empathy. I think I know what irritates them, so it's easy.
So you double down on that.
Disrupt the opposition.
But is there anyone else that you enjoy watching or maybe seeing coming up that you're like, hey, he's want to watch?
Well, everyone is watching is Cameron. I think he's doing very, very well. The other guy who I always love watching and playing with is Dwayne. Now being a coach and being involved in that part of the game, it's also It's also very nice.
Yeah, how's that? Is it quite interesting to see him in that role, given you know him so well?
It's interesting. I think it's a big advantage. I think all the players know him personally, and we all know the knowledge he has, and he's built up with his career, and he can now apply it and give it to us. So it's a massive advantage for us.
Okay, I want to hear, because Marco has been around the block and he says looking after your body is very important. So I want to hear from Coach Andre, the Vodacom Bulls conditioning coach. Such a legend, Marco. What does he bring to the table, physically, mentally, and to the system, especially in a gym when you have to put the work in?
Quite a lot, because he's one of our strongest guys in the gym. He needs a lot of power and strength in low body positions and mobility, and he does that very well.
And when it comes to the breakdown, which is obviously a specialist area for an open side flanker, what do you do there in terms of training?
He does a lot of deadlift work, and he's quite strong with that. I think, if I'm mistaken, Marco, you can deadlift about 270, 280 on a good day.
Very, very good day.
Did you? You was a bit shocked there.
I have all the stats. And you can see his forearms. He's very strong, ripping balls out of other people's hands. So that's quite good.
How do you train the forearms then? Bicycle?
You must ask him how he does that, because
it's just natural genetics.
Yeah, and he's a farmer, so that makes a difference.
Yeah, farming makes your arms.
Okay, so all the young guns out there, farm. It'll help. It will help. And any other skill sets that makes him more specific than a blindside flanker?
Running and repeat efforts, especially in the contact, because his body takes a lot of strain. You'll see six flankers normally have cuts and bruises on their face, because they're always amongst the forwards and they always at the bottom of the ruck.
So you're always at the bottom of the ruck. Yeah. Anything else about Marco that stands out for you that can be taken by a younger generation from a player like this?
Work rate, and he needs a lot of neck strength, especially with the position that he plays in concussion is quite bad. So neck strength for him is very, very important.
And we do that how?
We normally use elastic bands where they stand and just go to isometric hold. But Marco has a whole program that he has to follow.
Tell me about that program.
Adapt and try and use every week different machines and try and adapt them to strengthen your neck. So use a hammy machine to turn your back, or lift it with your neck, or hanging weights with straps. Or there's a lot of different ways and techniques, or having a ball in front of you and laying against the ball.
Holy moly,
you get creative.
Yes, that's a word, creative. Yeah. Do you come up with these exercises, or was Marco just a creative being on his own?
Not all of them. He does most of it himself. So
I guess that's the thing. He goes for it on his own.
Yeah, older players like him, they have a lot of experience, and they've worked with different fitness trainers all over the world. And they take from each and every one of us, they take something that's good and they can use it for themselves. So with previous young players, we sort of educate him in the beginning, but Marco luckily has got enough experience. So he knows what his body needs to be functional on the field on a Saturday.
And in terms of managing that then post games and in between tournaments, what would you do differently for a senior player to a junior player?
They take a little bit longer to recover. So
sorry, Marco.
on a Monday, they might do a little bit less than the younger players do.
Okay. What a duo. Thank you. So I've got 3 random questions that I want you to answer. Marco, can you play the bounce? What's the best prank you've ever pulled?
Like normally before Andre's training sessions, it may be the worst fitness session of their lives, and they're all nervous and stressing before the training, and it's actually not so bad. And they all know, well, at this stage I have a reputation for not always talking the truth, and I think twice before accepting what if I tell them the story.
They take you with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Like, what would you name your yacht if you had one?
Tavelina.
That's a good name. That's a good one. And then, what is your favorite childhood memory?
Growing up on the farm, I grew up with literally all my cousins within a kilometer from our house. So after school, we all just used to play with our bicycles and in the dam. And every afternoon after school was a big play day. So, and with all my cousins, everyone growing up together when we all went out of high school together. So it was a big blessing. Yeah, and it was very lekker.
It was very lekker.
Yeah.
Stay Verlena and Al. Marco, thank you so much, and good luck with the season. Hey?
Thank you very much.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is an Openside flanker.